Hey folks, this is Phil from Alabama Hot Sauce. That's alabamahotsauce.com on the web. I'm out here on the location of our farmer's market on an awfully cold, miserable Saturday morning in North Alabama. It's 26 degrees, and for us Alabama folks, that qualifies as cold. I thought while I wait, I'd give you a little story about a sauce I've developed and why I've developed it. Birmingham, Alabama in the 1800s was the source of an amazingly rich iron ore streak. Businessmen in Alabama wanted to take advantage of that to make steel for the skyscrapers that were popping up all over the country, especially New York, Chicago, and places such as that. So in 1881, they commissioned the construction and began construction of what was officially called the city furnace. Now, very quickly, the city furnace really became known as the Sloss Furnace. And the Sloss Furnace began operation with two shifts, a daytime shift that reduced the iron ore and produced iron and steel, and then a nighttime shift that kept the furnaces fired and maintained in preparation for the day's production shift. Working conditions at the Sloss Furnace were absolutely miserable, as they were in many industrial settings in the late 1800s. And the Sloss Furnace became known as a horrible place to work. But nothing more horrible than working that night shift. The night shift was worked by the poorest of the poor workers, and the conditions were terrible. It was dark, it was hot, and it was exceptionally dangerous. The night shift was managed by a man by the name of James Slag Wormwood. James Wormwood was a miserable guy. He fit right in at the Sloss Furnace. He took great pleasure in making the work life of the employees completely miserable. He drove them 12 straight hours with no breaks, no water, no rest, no relief from the horrible conditions. He also seemed to get a thrill out of doing things intentionally to make the work even harder. Now, a time came when poor old James Wormwood slipped and fell into the furnace, and it vaporized him immediately. The official story was that he was climbing up on a gantry crane, got overcome by the fumes coming out of the furnace, slipped and fell into molten iron. But many people said that couldn't have happened because James never climbed up above the furnace. As a matter of fact, he never came out to the furnace area much at all during his working life. So unofficially, it was assumed that very possibly the employees, as retribution for the horrible things that James Wormwood had done to them, grabbed him and fed him into the furnace. Immediately after Wormwood's death, people started seeing ghosts. They started seeing strange events, things moving that shouldn't have been. As a matter of fact, the night shift became such a ghostly, terrible place to work that they actually had to discontinue it because even the poorest of the poor wouldn't work there. Today, the Sloss Furnace is a national heritage location, and people in Alabama are quite proud of it. I decided that I'd release a new hot sauce and sort of pay homage to the Sloss Furnaces. What you have here in front of you is my new Alabama hot sauce, Ghost of Sloss Furnaces. This is a wonderful sauce that's a mixture of fermented red habaneros and pickled Jay's Peach ghost peppers. These two combined peppers, along with a few select spices, make for a wonderful tasting hot sauce. Now, this is the first hot sauce that I've given the Hell Hot rating to out of my 7-dot rating system. And I did it because both of these peppers are exceptionally hot. Of course, very few hotter than the ghost pepper. This sauce tastes delicious. It has a wonderful flavor. It's good on everything, and it delivers the heat. Now, I'd like for you to come over to alabamahotsauce.com and pick up a couple of bottles of this stuff. But I gotta warn you, go easy at first. developing the recipe and having to do repetitive taste tests, I have to admit that I, even a pepperhead, was very grateful when the recipe was settled down and I no longer had to taste this stuff repetitively over and over and over in the course of a day. This is the Ghost of Sloss Furnace. This is the latest Alabama hot sauce recipe. This is delicious. Now, before you leave, I would greatly appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel, give me the thumbs up, and ring the bell. This allows you to know immediately when I release a new video, and it allows YouTube to understand who they should push my videos out to. And that would be people just like you who enjoy watching hot sauce videos. Folks, once again, I want to thank you for joining me on this cold Saturday morning. I appreciate all the business. I appreciate you visiting my website. I appreciate you watching my videos. And I'd appreciate it if you'd pick up a couple of bottles of the Ghost of Sloss Furnace. Thank you, folks, and I'll see you next time.